McDowell O'Connell, and this is my Dynamo script in Revit. So first things first, I will show you what we're actually attempting to do here. So the kind of goal of this is what I envisioned it to look like anyway before I started. I wanted to put in these timber rafters along the roof here, my Claren Bridge project. There is obviously other ways to do this, but you could model and place these rafters. And when you use the kind of structural framing kind of commands in Revit, I think it's kind of a bit, sometimes it just goes all over the place and it's a bit difficult. But this Dynamo scripting method, I think, is pretty easy to use, pretty straightforward, especially for beginners. I think it does follow a certain easy script, so easy to get around. So first things first, the main thing you want to put in first is the surface project input onto. I think this is important to put it in first because then you have the surface geometry project and the project direction. These kind of let you know then what you need to be putting into. Okay, so then you go to your curve selection here. Now you go to select model elements. You go back into your Revit and you select. You can select this. This is the first curve. This is a model in place line set out basically on the 2D area where you want your rafter to be. So you select that and it comes in here. You then put element curves, which when they go in nicely like that straight away, it's nice. So what you do is I only put in, instead of making how many model lines to match that, I only made one model line, if you can see this one here, and I offset it to make all these ones along here. That is this. So then what you do is you put in the number slider. You can kind of exaggerate how many you need because, well, you can work it out. You can set out a distance and divide it by whatever the distance between the rafters is. And then I just put in 70 because I imagine that's how many I need. So you put in the number slider, min 1, max 70, step 1. Then you put that number slider in. You need to set the distance. So you set the code block, and you make sure they let it know it's a number. And then you get all this list here. List create, and then all that goes into this curves offset. Some people are individually offsetting it each time, but in action you can condense it into a whole list and just stick it into the distance and it works fine. Then once that curve is in this curve offset, so this is the curve, that one model line, and then the distance is in. So this goes all the way up here into the geometry to project. But the problem is this is only set out 2D. It doesn't actually know where you want the curve to then go to. So you go select face, and you can see here that it's that face there. So you select it, you go back into your project, you would move it, and then you would select this face here. And then that's how I got that. And sure, also you can show whenever you click these, they kind of it shows you which one you selected. Like this coming up here. This is the only one curve there is there, and it's offsetted throughout. These are the offsets. That's the handy thing about Dynamo. So it knows the face and it knows the 2D location, but it doesn't know how you want it to attach to the face. So what you have to put in is you have to put in a vector Z axis. Z is kind of the third dimension. So if you can think of your X axis and your Y axis, and to actually add depth to it, you need to add the Z axis. So you've just Z axis, put that in, and this is the location of the curve, which is all along here. So it knows exactly where it needs to go, and now it needs to know what you actually want to put onto it. So then you move down here, you put in structural framing beam by curve. It has all the curve geometry that's in here. The level is actually not too important. It's just you obviously want it as close as possible so you can see it. But this could have been on the ground floor and it would have still managed to go up to the roof. I tried that and it worked. And the structural framing type, I just use, this isn't this 38 by 235. It's not the actual one I'll be using, but just for the sake of showing you the demonstration. So then I put that in. These are all in it, and the end product. So you select this, run, Run started, run completed. Back in here. Here you have it, all set out. And the handy thing about this could be some sort of arched roof. If you wanted to put some glulam beams in, you know, the way the glulam beams can arch in like a vault or something like that. If you, it's the same method and it'll work. It'll wrap around it. It's very handy and very quick. And I think it's a good example, you know, for beginners like myself. I'm only kind of getting into this. Usually when the scripts are really long, you kind of like, you don't even know what's going on. But this just follows a certain path that I think is very handy. So yes, thank you very much for listening to me. Goodbye.